Hey, y'all. Welcome to It Really Is That Deep. I'm your curator and host, Prentiss E. Mouton. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, what exactly is this and how did I get here? Well, it started with something I just couldn't stop thinking about. We live in a world that seems to value certainty over curiosity, comfort over growth, and simplicity over complexity. We want an answer. We want a label. And child, sometimes we just want to figure it out and move on. But life doesn't always fit into neat little boxes. And when we start trying to make sense of everything from the seemingly insignificant to the overwhelmingly complex, there is always somebody waiting in the wings to say, it's not that deep. But what if it is? What if the disconnection, anxiety, loneliness, or dissatisfaction we experience is trying to tell us something? What if some of what we experience has something to tell us about our capacity to sit with the complexity of being human? If you've ever found the courage to be vulnerable about what you're experiencing only to hear, it's not that deep, then welcome. You're in the right place. This is a space where we slow down enough to get curious about our reactions instead of immediately being governed by them, where we unpack the emotional, psychological, cultural, and relational frameworks we've inherited, many of which have been shaping our lives long before we were ever aware of them. Basically, I'm just trying to understand why we do the shit we do. Where did this belief come from? Why is this happening? And is this who I am? Or is this some shit I got handed that I need to give back? And what happens if, instead of immediately trying to fix, label, or get rid of it, we get curious about it? This is where we build capacity to hold nuance instead of running from it, where we stop shrinking ourselves to fit into identities, expectations, and stories that were handed to us. This is the beginning of the lifelong practice of getting curious about who we are beneath what we've inherited, what we've adapted to, what we've chosen, and who we might still become. Because the work isn't about becoming some perfected version of ourselves. Maybe it's about developing the capacity to become more available to who we already are and remaining curious about who we're still becoming. This podcast isn't about overthinking life. It's about accompanying the human experience with enough honesty, compassion, and curiosity that we can actually feel alive again. Because at the end of the day, it really is that deep. Oh, and before we get started, the music you're hearing is from a song called Temporary High by a good friend of mine, Breaura. That's Breaura. The song actually became a part of the inspiration for this season, so I'd encourage you to go listen to the full thing when you get a chance. Pay attention to the lyrics. We'll come back to it, I promise. So let's get deep, shall we?